Previously on the Lineage of Moonreach, the Halflings had found their spies that were working with the Inquisition, and they enlisted our help to determine what to do with them. Willem went off in another room and interrogated some guy I didn't meet, and then we talked to some other lady I didn't know much about. Honestly, I was just kind of there for the ride. We helped them sort out all that. We went back and talked to Varolus for a little bit, and then we traveled right back where we started to Demonster.
You forgot the funeral, but that's okay.
No, I didn't. I don't care about that.
The D20 Syndicate presents The Lineage of Moonreach.
Welcome back to the D20 Syndicate podcast.
Yeah.
The jazziest, most musical extravaganza of Dungeons and Dragons this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
We are a Dungeons and Dragons 5e actual play podcast and scat group, apparently.
Razzmatazz.
Yeah. I am your host and DM, Seth. And around the table, we have our players.
I'm Billy, and I play Willem.
I'm Tomas, I play Tomas.
I'm Lindsey, and I play Pinwin.
And I'm Michaela, and I play Gorbel.
That's right. Each week, we record for your listening pleasure. This is episode 72. Zappity zing zam zom dong dum dee dab zip dab doo. Scat weed up a pot of booty pie.
Now that we've lost the new
Booty
listeners.
pie?
Pooty pie.
Oh.
Oh, don't. It's like Beetlejuice. Don't.
Pooty pie? What?
Well, if we,
God damn
we
it.
were supposed to pepper it throughout the season, and then he shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
it's
Ann
scat
Harmon
wiener.
does.
So
Like how we all stopped dead after Scat Wiener.
So you can edit that out because nobody will care about that. But thanks for checking us out. If this is your first episode, your first foray, if you will, into the world of Argaria and Veldlin, don't. You need to go to Gunky Evil,
Stop.
episode 1.
Get some help.
Yes, and then light up a fat blunt. Is that what people smoke now?
I don't know, fat vape or something.
Biscuit?
Yeah, light up your fattest vape and listen to the dulcet tones of the D20 Syndicate podcast, starting with episode 1, Gunky Evil. That is 71 episodes ago. We are now on episode 72, so there's a lot to cover. Don't feel that it's a dauntless task, though.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Also, third episode of 2020.
Yes, the third episode of 2020.
Almost there.
We're almost there. Guys, we did it. But check us out on our social media page. We got all that shit. Check us out on our Patreon. I was trying to think if we had any cool news coming up or anything like that. Like,
Are you guys trying to go to any cons this year?
that's where we're considering. I don't know if we ever go to Gary Con. I don't think I want to go to Gen Con again. The most fun that I had there was recording with Scott and Stephanie from the Shocking Gasp. But so I don't know. I'm considering going to Gary Con. I think that would be nice if at least some of us went. But
I feel like your window's kind of closing on.
yes, I definitely need to decide if that's going to be something we do. Or
I would Gary Con again.
yeah. Would you Gary Con, Billy?
When's GaryCon?
March sometime, late March.
Oh, Jesus, that's very soonish.
I think it's my birthday weekend.
But you might also have a bouncing baby boy, so
Yeah,
you might not be able to go.
Lindsay and I
Yeah,
will
we
probably
can't.
not be conning this
Yeah.
year, but if you guys could get somewhere,
Yeah.
mingle with some peeps, that'd be cool.
And
I think you guys should still come.
I would love to Gen Con.
Gen
If you
Con?
want, we'll
Yeah.
bring the baby and you can
We had-
babysit.
Please
I will
do
say we
bring the
had
baby.
so
I'm
much
going to
more
take
fun
it
at
over
Gary Con.
to
Yeah, Gary.
that little
Yeah,
Gary
but
Gygax stone
Kingdom
and
Death is
bless
at
the
Gen
baby.
Con.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would
yeah.
that'd be a good
Bless the
Instagram
baby.
moment.
Yes.
That's it. We're going to Gary Con.
Yeah, you guys
And
could
we're
just...
naming the baby Gary.
Or
And
Gygax.
Lindsay's giving birth at the con.
Oh man,
Come watch.
our if that happened, our podcast would be like #1 for like a month. Like
This is for the podcast.
it's like
I mean, would we be recording while we?
no, I'm just saying like the minute that happened.
Well, nobody would give a shit about that.
No, they would be like she was so devoted to D&D that she had her baby at GaryCon. By the way, check out our credentials here. We're D20 Syndicate podcast. If you want to see more pics of this sweet baby,
We brand the baby as it comes out
yeah.
Then we get sued.
by Babies United.
Well, you'd probably just get the baby taken away by social services or something, DHS.
And then we can keep partying at the con. So
Oh, yeah. This is win, win, win.
Yeah, then Lindsey can drink finally.
Bye, baby.
Once we get rid of this baby from her.
Get those tasty whiskey and whiskeys she likes.
Num, 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 num,
I
num,
can
num,
in 2
num,
months.
oh,
num, 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 num,
shit.
num, num, num.
Is this seriously only 2 months away? That's nuts.
Damn. There's gonna be a whole ass baby here.
Well, I mean,
He'll probably have a pretty whole ass.
from
I
what
hope.
we can tell so far, from
I know.
the-
I've technically only seen pieces of him, so I'm still looking to see if he'll be
some
together.
assembly required.
Could be 2D.
All right. Well, let's have an around the campfire question.
If we do decide to go to cons, we will post on our social media. So if you want that information, follow us there.
Yes, please do. So here will be a this around the campfire question. Let me get into it. Time for our around the campfire question.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Excelsior!
Holy shit, I'm excited.
Yeah, good. Get amped. Get fucking jacked, guys. So our around the campfire question, we ask. There we go. Billy's awake. I pose a question to the characters, and they each answer. In character. It's a way of warming up. It's a way of getting to know the characters, maybe fleshing out the world a little bit. I will make this more of a kind of a waypoint question since we're in our new arc, and I think it's probably a good idea to ask this at least once per arc. But tonight's question for Around the Campfire is, what currently is your character most curious about in the world or the goings-on of what you're currently experiencing? Gorbel, what are you most interested in, curious about?
I'm still really hung up on the Prince Othis stone thing.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. But there's actually kind of a lot on my mind lately.
Well,
That's-
let us we'll know what you're thinking about.
That's definitely lingering. But also not dying, figuring out the shit with the council, Calcifer, Mandoran. It's a lot. I feel like my mind has kind of been a scramble.
Understandably so. I'm sorry I put you in this position.
I just want to go back to traveling and performing.
Dogwick. Just Dogwick. That's what we want.
Oh yeah, you guys need a dogwick sitch. Pinwin, what are you most curious about in the current world and or goings on?
I'm straight up confused right now. There's so much happening. And so pretty curious just about everything going on with the baddies, and like, are there baddies that are there just a bunch of them working together? Is it just one big lich? And then what are we gonna do next? I don't know. There's so many things. And I'm sure there's more that we don't even know that we're going to come across and explore. So my answer is everything.
Fair. Tomar, what are you most curious about in the world and or goings on in the world?
I'm curious as to who decided what places were seals and why, and how they came to be that way. It's confusing that the work rag itself was a seal, and who exactly made it that way. So I find that very mysterious.
Okay. Very nice. Willem, most curious about in this world?
So up until recently, it was the clear winner would have been these feelings that I've been having about hanging up the old adventuring hat and settling down with that special someone and maybe starting a family somewhere far away from all of this. But now it's a little bit of a tie between that and getting the bombshell dropped on me about Mandoran being my father and finding out more about that, what he's about, and how he and I fit into all of this shit.
Very nice. Okay. Let's get started, guys. So, when we last left off, you guys had just walked through a Tomar-crafted portal into the dungeons beneath... What?
I just Tomarco.
In the dungeons beneath the castle in Deepminster, and you were standing right in front of Uthor the Undying, who, if you'll remember from previous episodes, was standing a vigil that he believed had a very slim but still existing chance of reviving the dead King Gustav. And you stand before him now, and he seems to be a little worse for wear. He's leaning on his he's just like leaning over as he stands vigil. He looks emaciated, as if he's very, very hungry, very tired. And he seems very surprised, though, to see all of you come stumbling through. Did you come back to help?
Yeah.
Are you going to let us help this time?
Do you have anything to eat? I am so hungry.
I actually did grab something just for you, Uthor, and I walk over and pull out of my pouch one of the Inorp mushrooms.
Oh, thank you. I haven't had a morsel to eat in so long. And
this should help out immensely.
And just after just a moment, he like stands up straighter, and he's like smiling, his big friendly smile that seemed to be anytime you would encounter him present. But
he had a big friendly smile. I don't remember that being
he was
feature.
I didn't imagine it friendly. I imagined it just like confident.
I just pictured a stoic dude.
Yeah, he's got a big confidence. Confidence probably better, but even when you didn't know him, he was always smiling. That feels a lot better. Thank you.
I thought you said you had enough food.
I thought that I did. I was just mostly... if I'm being honest, I was just saying that to make sure you didn't worry about me.
It's a good thing that Hirstag isn't here. I'd feel like an asshole. How is this going? Are you making progress or what?
That's the difficult thing. It's hard to tell in a situation like this. I feel like I'm achieving something, but I do not know for sure.
That could have just been the hunger talking.
It very well could have been. That's a great point, Gorbel.
How much longer do you have?
A few days.
I don't know if we should wait that long or if we should just actually try and revive him now.
What have you learned in your travels?
Well, we just went to stop Shadehome. Shadehome was being...
The little halfling place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was being sieged. Well, it was being occupied by Inquisition.
Have you ever been there?
I have.
Interesting.
I have been to. It's
Have you ever been to the local tavern?
Yes, that's where we've stopped.
Funny
yes.
story.
Yes.
Pinwin's family owns it.
Are you serious? It was delightful beer.
Thank you.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I do imbibe from time to time, and it was very good.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Do you have any of that beer on you?
I don't think so. But I mean, if we can get over all this stuff going on, I can make it whenever.
Oh.
I know how to brew it.
This is good news.
Yeah.
So,
small world. We also brought this young turtle man back.
I didn't want to be rude, but I was interested in finding out who that is.
And you might also notice that Hirstag is not with us.
I did see that.
This is not Hirstag, though.
That's good to know. I didn't know if there was some sort of like a witchery afoot or something. So, hello, and Varolus nods. Hello. And he kind of Uthor just kind of nods. So, can I help you with something?
What is our
Doesn't seem like it.
We're hoping that we can help you get the Boy King back to life.
You,
Do you care if we take Varolus in there to just take a peek?
He cannot enter, no. Remember, we discussed this before.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
We rest for 3 days.
Varolus kind of steps forward. Well, it seems like I'm going. Would you mind if I attempted to try something magical? It will not disrupt the vigil, but I'm going to attempt to try something if you don't mind. And Uthor kind of narrows his eyes. I'm not sure I would be okay with that. I must stand here and I can't let anything mess with it. What are you planning? And Varolus responds, I'm going to try to speed up time for you.
Varolus, you're familiar with this vigil, correct?
Correct, and I believe that time is of the utmost importance. But however, I have one spell that I can use that I've only used once before, and so I don't know if it'll work. But I could attempt to choose an area and a certain space and speed up time for just that area. And perhaps if I can speed it up by a few days, we can see what the end result of this is.
Uthor, does that sound reasonable? I mean, we wouldn't be interfering with King Gustav. We would just be helping you.
Will I be affected by it? And Varolus shakes his head. Time will appear mostly normal to you. Anything outside of the cone of the area effect will look as though we are moving in slow motion. Very slow creatures, but I mean, I am a turtle, and we are famously slow, as some may have pointed out, but not that slow. But it'll be interesting for you to see it. And Uthor kind of considers it. You all trust this turtle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
More or less.
He helped us out of a tight spot.
I feel weird about this situation.
Not at all. Like, this is what... Like, if we're voting, we're all voting for this.
I must say that it does seem that with all that goes on here, that things might take a turn for the worse. There's been some fighting above ground. I've even been able to hear it.
With who?
I don't know. There's a lot of fighting going on in the city, it sounds like, and in the castle itself.
Well, shit.
That's kind of all the more reason for you to speed up your process here, right? Because then
I suppose that makes sense.
Then we can get to the fighting sooner.
As long as you can promise me that it will not affect the ritual itself. And Varolus, he's like, well, there's always a chance that it might affect something, but I think it's unlikely. It won't change anything. And so, Uthor gives you guys a look, and then he looks at you, Willem. Can I have a little bit more of that mushroom, just in case?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I will put my trust in you, wolves. I will see how this goes. But know that this is our last chance, because if he dies, then there's no more bloodline.
Well, he's already dead.
If he stays dead.
Yeah. No, we understand the weight of the situation. We just... Unfortunately, we don't have the time to sit around and wait and hope.
Mm-hmm.
So...
We know for sure this will work.
Well, we don't, but...
If it doesn't work...
We don't know for sure that it's going to work without it.
If we find out that this ritual doesn't work, then I can just resurrect him.
I thought that didn't work for some reason.
Why wouldn't it work?
Because it's past 7 days or something?
No.
Oh.
As long as he's been dead.
Oh, well, that's fine.
He's died within a year, so it should work fine.
Well, he indicated that he didn't think it might not work if his soul has been if something has happened to his soul, which is what he thought might have been the situation.
Like it were sucked out of him and put into a stone?
I don't know.
That fucking face.
Sucked out, maybe. Stone. I don't know.
Sucked out through. Never mind. He's in the Starlight Plane. We got to go to the Starlight Plane.
All right. Okay. And Varolus lifts his hand and he waves it about and he mutters under his breath. And then. And you guys watch as he just kind of like wiggles around in space as if he's adjusting, and he like looks at you guys a lot and kind of smiles a lot because you guys probably you can discern that you guys are moving very slow. And then you guys hear a noise from behind you. A scuffle, like boot on flagstone. And you turn around and you see this large, hulking, muscular human with long, like very bushy and dreaded hair, long beard. And you guys think that he looks, except for you, Willem, he looks very familiar to you. You are looking at Lufric, Gorbel's former partner in crime in the on the Bard circuit.
Am I still moving very slowly?
No, you guys are moving normally. Uthor is just moving very quickly.
Okay.
And he...
Whoa!
Lufric, what the fuck?
I thought I'd find you guys here.
How did you know we were here? And why are you here?
How did you...
I've been in the dungeons.
This whole time?
Yeah, I've been ever since we... ever since we had that encounter in front of the during the trial by combat, that they've kept me under lock and key because they said that I threw the fight, that I threw the fight in my favor, which I obviously did, and that you threw the fight to help the that group out of prison. And if you all remember, him and Gorbel offered to be the champion for the...
This is before the podcast.
Before the podcast. The Chaos Company was being held in the prison, and the council requested Gorbel's help as a fighter who was pretending to be a woman named Sasha, I believe. And I think that was right. With Acelin,
I don't remember her name.
I think it was. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Sasha, and offered as a warrior of some renown to fight on their behalf for the trial by combat. However, when they asked for
guess what? It was me.
It was Gorbel all along, and when she was planning on throwing it anyway, but her former instructor and like friend and sometimes father figure who she traveled with on the road, Lufric, who taught her everything she knows about being a bard, he jumped out of the crowd to offer himself as the Chaos Company's champion, and then they did their classic basically performance, made it look really good for the audience, and then Gorbel pretended to lose.
Yep, there was magic, faked her death, all this banana stuff.
Yeah, and the Chaos Company was set free, but sounds like he's been in the prison since then.
That's been a while, Lufric.
Yeah, it's been a few years. I've been interacting with some of the guards. They've been helping kind of orchestrate a rebellion of sorts, and I was very interested to see how this plays out.
The guards?
There are a few guards here that are very pro-Wolves of Moonreach, as it seems you guys' name has become, and very anti-council. And because of that, I kind of let slip that I said that I was in a lot more close contact with you than I actually was, but they offered to help me escape from prison as long as I helped with the rebellion.
So is that rebellion happening now? Because you're definitely not locked up.
The rebellion is happening now, yeah.
Who's rebelling against you?
there's a force of people inside the city. They are basically setting fire to buildings and fighting against the guards and the Inquisition in the city in an effort, I believe, to overthrow the council.
We told them to stop doing that.
We did tell them to stop doing that.
Also, how did this guy get in this room?
Also, what about
the room
seals?
is completely sealed off by that rock thing that you put in there.
Are you going to answer his question?
Well, I was asking you guys.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
I don't know him.
Yeah, how did you get in here?
I slipped through a hole that I saw another prisoner come
Insight.
through.
23.
23. It seems like he's telling part of the story.
I'm looking around. Which hole?
Give me a perception check.
14.
14. You do see in the corner there seems to be a very small hole, but you don't know if a man of his stature and size could have gotten through that.
Are you a shapeshifter?
No, I'm not a shapeshifter, but, well, it's been a while since you've seen me, Gorbel. Some things have happened to me.
Got my dick cut off, so that frees up a lot of space.
I made a pact with another worldly being and gave me some powers. I really wanted to, find you, and the being said they would help me find you if I made a pact with them. Some creature.
Did you get a name?
No.
Body type, height?
He looked strange. I can't really recall how he looked. He wore these red flowing robes, and sometimes I feel like he wore a mask, but I'm not sure. I can't recall him.
It sounds like the master.
Frick, what the fuck? Yeah, that guy's gonna help you track us.
I draw my bow.
What's going on?
I could see why you would be against the Inquisition if you're a warlock now.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
This happened, I would say, 4 years ago.
So before you even threw the match?
Before I threw the match, yeah.
So you were already working with the master then?
I wouldn't call it necessarily working with. He hasn't shown himself since. I don't know what he expects from me, but he did say that he would help me find Gorbel.
Can you feel his presence now? Can he see through you?
I don't think so. I don't feel him here. I've been largely left to my own devices since it happened.
Are you carrying anything that belongs to him?
Not on me, but
God damn it.
in my at home. There's a
behind my Nintendo.
he gave me an armband, a bracer.
Okay. Where's your home?
Ashenveldt, just outside of Deepminster.
What powers did you get from him?
It allows me to take the form of animals if I so choose. So in that, you were partially correct. I can shift into animals. I can use magic that I never believed possible as a bard. Yeah, and it's also given me the ability of what I think of as like almost prophecy. Sometimes when I sleep, I see visions, and I saw a vision of you standing in a house with dead bodies on the floor, and I worried that was your fate.
I worried that was your fate.
Oh, looks like we were both worried about fates.
Wait, whose bodies were there?
I couldn't see in the dream.
Why are we not dropping this dude for working with the master right now?
You were one of those bodies, buddy.
Well, but I was looking from behind, and then a figure approached you.
I was standing there.
A figure approached her what?
In the dream. A figure approached her.
From behind?
Yes, touched her shoulder, and she whirled around, and then the dream ended.
Okay, have you... You've been around. Do you know anything about Jennifer?
Just called him a slut.
Jennifer. Who's
The chicken.
the chicken?
My chicken.
I don't think we've ever been acquainted, but...
Yeah, I had Jennifer my whole life.
Oh, Jennifer, sorry. I forgot. Jennifer, yes, Jennifer. There's rumor...
Well, she's a wizard now.
That's, well, I'd think that was crazy, but... I mean, look what happened to me. I've heard rumors that there's a wizard fowl somewhere in the castle being kept in some sort of stasis mode of some kind. Some magical power keeping her at bay. I overheard from the guards that they want to keep her for some reason, but they didn't explain why.
Possibly to draw us here.
I don't know.
They had to have considered that we don't give a shit about a chicken.
I mean, I do allow Jennifer a lot of freedom, but
Maybe it's for some other express purpose. I don't know.
Maybe they're just periodically cooking her and then bringing her back to chicken form and eating her over and over again.
fuck off, Tomar.
Okay, sorry. What do you want right now?
I wanted to get here and speak to Gorbel and let her know that if she... Well, I'll just speak to you, Gorbel.
I was like, is this fucker purred happily? And speaking to you is the thing that I'm doing currently.
I just wanted to let you know that I do not hold any ill feelings for you leaving. I understand why you left. At least I think that I did and do, but after this gets sorted, I'm going to leave the city right now and go back to Ashen Vale. But I'd like it if once this is over, you come to talk to me.
I feel like we need to stop at your place. Sorry, I'm butting in here, but I feel like we need to stop at your place anyway and deal with this armband situation because the guy you're entrusted to right now is not good.
Well, I didn't know anything other than that. I just...
Has he made you do anything while under his service?
I don't believe so, but I can't be sure. I have no memory of anything like that.
But you do have memories, right?
Yes, I remember everything. I have those strange dreams and it's been such a long time. I've been down here losing my mind and I wasn't sure when I was going to get out.
Before Tomar interrupted, I know we don't have a lot of super serious conversations unless we've been drinking heavily. But I did want to say that I'm sorry for leaving.
As I said, everyone does the things that they do for their own reasons. I mean, especially bards. We don't begin our lives of bards because we stuck around and wanted to hang out at home. So I understand you had a different purpose calling to you, and I hope that it gave you some joy and some fulfillment.
It didn't. Turns out you were right.
About what?
About Lila.
Well, sometimes experience is unhelpful. You have to experience something yourself. Someone else with experience can't say anything, but regardless, maybe that path, you leaving, drew you to a path here, and maybe that's what really is important about this, because
Maybe.
I don't think if you had stayed with me, you would have ended up here.
In this super dangerous situation? Yeah, probably not.
Well, it kind of sounds like what you're all attempting to do is important.
Unfortunately, I think you got recruited for the wrong team.
Have you had other dreams other than this Gorbel one?
Yeah, I dream often of the big black ziggurat out on the ocean. I dream of that. I've dreamt of these gateways opening up in the world and demons spilling out. I feel like I've dreamt of your faces as well, though I can't quite recall.
Where all did you see these portals?
I've two that I can definitely recall. Have you ever been to Bronze Wall?
No.
Well, it's a place not too far from a village called Heart Valley, and it's where one of these dreams took place. The other is in a place called Rose Lake. Have you been there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've all heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Been outside of it.
Yes.
And those are where they were in my dreams.
So we're to assume that those are the seals that haven't been broken yet then, right?
Yeah. So either you had a premonition or they already happened at some point.
Well, because we can assume the seal in the Beldorak, the seal in Moonreach, and the seal in Deepminster, right?
Seal in Deepminster, I don't think is unsealed yet.
Okay, well
But-
there's a third seal that was broken. Where was that?
Could we assume that it is being broken now, considering all the bloodshed with the fighting
It could.
that's happening?
Could. Uthor, who has access to the lineage stone for Deepminster.
Uthor wouldn't be unable to talk to you because he's still like.
How long is this supposed to take, Verolis?
Could take
3 days.
5 experience
4
each.
days. Yeah.
It might take. It's hard to say, but I think it might take just a few more minutes.
Gods be damned.
Well, I'm trying as
Except
fast as
mine.
I can.
Except all those other guys can fuck off.
Do you have
Shit.
You have no way of getting in contact with the master.
Oh, yeah.
I
Why don't you call him here and tell him you have a present for him or something? I don't know. How did you contact him in the first place?
Where the fuck did you meet this guy?
we met at a tavern.
We met on the
Were you
live
drunk?
journal.
Well, yeah, I was drunk. I'm usually drunk, if you'll recall. I haven't had a drink in a couple years now, but
Is that by choice?
well, I've been in a dungeon, so not a lot of beer here. But
It's a bummer.
I was at a tavern in, I want to say I was in Three Bridges, maybe, and a man approached me, dropped a sack of coins in front of me, and said his master would like to speak with me. Well, I wasn't in the position to argue with a sack of coins, so...
What did that man look like?
He was a tall human with like long blonde hair, I think. But I followed him to this little dive of a place, and he offered me this opportunity. And so, drunk and lonely, I took it. But now I'm regretting it, especially considering I don't know what he wishes for me to fulfill, especially now that I've finally come across you again.
Well, you had already come across me when you were tied to this master.
And that's true, and I felt the compulsion to go to the stands and to fight on behalf of that group because of something inside of me telling me, whispering. Perhaps that was the master.
Is there a good reason why we're not putting an arrow in this guy's face right now? I'm not asking you.
Yeah. Old friend.
Who's working for the master?
I'm not working for anyone. I made a mistake, but I can understand your perspective on this. It does seem very suspicious, especially if you know more about him than I do.
So if you're not working for him, why are you here?
Because I was drawn here
drawn
Gorbel.
here, pushed here by the master? Like, what it's the difference at this point?
Are you feeling compelled to do anything else, like from this point? Do you feel like you need to take me somewhere, or?
Yeah, like, okay, you're here. What now?
I don't know.
Jesus, this guy's gonna put me to fucking sleep.
This was as far as I got.
He's much more boisterous when he's drinking and performing. I feel like prison did a number on him.
Somebody get this dude a drink.
Wait a second. Would you like a drink?
Oh, yes, please. I need a drink so bad.
Even though it's been a few years, you're okay with breaking that?
I don't know if you've ever spent a long amount of time not drinking.
I just want to make sure it wasn't like a choice thing.
It was a prison thing.
Yeah, he just recently got his 2-year coin.
And an old
Didn't
friend
know
comes
how
back
much you
peer
treasured
pressure.
away.
Is the master your sponsor?
The master is alcoholism. I would love a drink.
Okay. I reach into my pack and I pull out my bottle of let alcohol, give it a little shake to see if how much is left.
About half a bottle still.
Oh, damn.
It's a big jug.
Okay. So, you remember that night? We were traveling between towns out in the middle of fucking nowhere in the mountains.
Yeah.
And remember we met that family. They had a farm out there. They had cherry trees or some shit. I don't remember, but they made that alcohol and they put us up for the night. If you don't remember this, I don't blame you because I barely remember it either.
I think the father, he had the scar on his face and the big beard.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Yeah, it's coming back to me. Yeah, and the little boy kept asking if you to hang off your arms and teach him how to fight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, remember how strong that was?
Yes, that was one of my top 3.
Okay. This is slightly stronger.
I'm interested.
So be careful.
Yes.
And I hand him the bottle.
All right,
I'm going to
uncorks
think
it.
into Gorbel's head with the telepathic bond. Are you trying to get the master here?
No.
What are you trying to do? Are you just partying with him?
No, I'm just trying to open him up a little bit. He's acting weird.
And he pops a cork in.
We might be able to get the master here.
Do we want that?
I might be able to prevent the master from leaving if we get him here. But I need like 20 minutes. But we need to get the master here in 20 minutes. Otherwise, he won't be able to come here, if that makes sense. The spell takes 20 minutes to cast. But
Yeah. Okay.
he needs to get in here before then. Otherwise, he can get out of here.
Okay. I'll do my. I'll try.
Or I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna start trying to cast Forbiddance. And
Okay.
then we'll see.
Okay, so he wipes his mouth. Oh,
Ooh, I can do it as a ritual. So 10 minutes. If it's easier to do it
You're
in
only
10
giving me
minutes.
10 minutes? I have no idea. I don't think he knows how to get this guy here.
oh, this is really, really good, Gorbel. Oh man, that's just a shot right to the bones.
Oh my gosh. This is the Lufric that I was
And he
missing.
stands up and he's just like stretching. Oh man, and he does like a cartwheel and he like lands. Oh, my bones feel like they're on fire with just energy now. Oh, and he starts like kind of hopping around. Ooh, this is good. Can I have some more?
No, because when you said that you feel energy on fire in your bones, that made me think that maybe you do have a bit of an issue. But
Oh, all right. That's fine. I'll find some more. This is great. I feel good. Thank you.
awesome. Okay, so tell me more about this master. You've only met him the once?
I met him the once. I saw him in a dream once. It's kind of coming back to me. The first time I met him was in that little divey place, and when he offered me the ability to find you and all these other abilities, and then the second time was in the dream. In the dream, what did he say? He said if I ever need him, I can summon him. What did he say? You don't have any more of that alcohol that I can have, right? Are you saving it?
I'm being kind of careful with it.
You gotta just have a little bit more.
I mean, you could summon him how, though?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like if I drink a little bit more, I might remember a little bit better. I do most of my remembering when I'm drinking, if you'll recall. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Okay, yeah, he said, I could, what did I say? I have to say, something, Ulfeist sucks, and there's a lightning bolt in the room.
Oh my god.
And suddenly, you guys see a figure that you've never encountered before. You guys haven't. Wink. Flowing red robes, a wooden mask on his face, hood pulled up. And he's standing in the center of this room, and he looks at all of you. Well, this is a surprise. This is, well, the Wolves of Moonreach, correct?
Maybe?
I don't think we've caught your name.
Is this the bitey guy?
Some people call me the Master.
What did your parents call you?
That's an interesting question. I never had any parents. I was forged from the very...
Wait, don't you have brothers?
Oh, yes, I have brothers. We're all brothers. But we were all created at the same time in an amalgam of magic and explosions.
So, what'd your creators call you?
Well,
Dave.
that's a secret. More, that's a need to know thing.
Is your fucking name Rumpelstiltskin?
I have never heard that name before, but I might adopt it as my own. What can I help you all with? You all look very confused and weary. And Lufric, my old, he looks at you guys. Chum, you're looking drunk again. What did you happen to tell these fine folks about me, and why am I here? And Lufric's kind of like, oh man, I just told them about how you helped me out, and you made it so that I could find Gorbel, and that you gave me all these powers. Oh well, yes, I didn't realize you were so loose-lipped. Well,
I think that's great, though. I know Lufric has been looking for me for a long time. I've certainly been missing him.
Yes, absolutely. I love to help people out. What can I do for all of you? Why?
Are we gonna bodega?
How's it going, Tomar? I think.
Can you keep him busy for 10 minutes?
I'm gonna try. How many more minutes do you need?
I don't know how long it's been.
Do we just drink with him and hang out?
Let's just act dumb. Okay, everybody play dumb. Act interested.
What's your mask made out of?
Oh, well, this is a very special wood. I think that's the word for it here. Yes, it's a very special wood. It grows on trees, correct? Yes, wood.
Is it from a certain place?
It is from a certain place. What is your name? You are a very astute pupil.
Do I give him my real name, I think?
You're taking quite a while. I understand.
This is P.
P. Interesting. You
Yeah,
just go
P.
by the initial.
Yeah.
No, it's P-E-E.
Oh, interesting. Is that a nickname?
No.
Well, your parents must have loved you so much.
Yeah.
I never had any parents.
He doesn't have parents either. None of us do, actually. We're
yeah.
all created.
I feel like you're trying to pull one over on me.
Are you going to tell us where that
No.
wood came from?
Yeah.
In my head, I'm going to say, he knows where the Wolves of Moonreach. I don't...
How does he not know Pinwin's name?
He totally knows who we are.
Yeah.
Find a way to stall him. He knows we're trying to stall
That's why
him.
I'm talking about where this wood came from.
Wood!
Wood, tell us about the wood.
So how long have you known Lufric?
Oh, well, we don't know each other that well at all. In fact, we just encountered each other one time, and that was it. And I gave him the ability to find you, and that was all. There's nothing else.
Roll
An
insight?
interesting.
Roll insight?
Go for it.
Oh my god! All day.
Why do you roll the tiny one?
Because all the other ones were shitty to me earlier.
It literally just went.
Yeah, I feel like the tiny D20 doesn't actually roll; it just
12.
lands.
12. He's a confusing guy. It's really hard to discern anything about him behind that mask. His body language seems very positive and very upbeat.
It's fucking General Grievous.
Continue.
That was an interesting thing. Olafai sucks.
Ah, yes.
I heard-
my summoning word is Ulfeist sucks. Well, I guess it's 2 words rather, but it's just a.
Where did you even come up with that?
That's well, it's a funny story. I just my brother, his name is Ulfeist, and
you have more than one brother, though, right?
yes, I do. There are 3 of us total, and
So there's Olafeist. There's you.
yes, I am one of those brothers. Yes. And then
Baby Feist.
Baby Feist.
And Sporty Feist.
I don't agree with that. But then there's our younger brother. He's a bit of a black sheep. His name is Miraluk. I believe you've encountered him. I smell his scent all over you.
We have been.
Except for you.
We have met him.
You don't smell me?
I don't smell Miraluk's scent on you. I also, strangely enough, smell Olfeist's scent on you. It's almost as though you're all aware of this information and asking me about it in an effort to get me to stay here for some reason.
It's almost as if you're projecting your really weird relationship with Olafeist onto us because we mentioned him.
Give me persuasion.
I don't know what I'm even doing. I'm just stalling.
Roll antagonization.
Do you like cheese?
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. What am I rolling?
Persuasion.
Oh. Not perception. Right.
Persuasion.
Okay. 13.
13. He doesn't seem too bothered by it. And what are you doing with
Oh, wait,
this?
I'm sorry, I lied.
Okay.
That was a 19.
Oh. I'm not projecting. I don't do that. That's of the material plane, and I am not of the material plane. However,
So you're astral projecting?
no, I'm here now. Yes, I'm here now. But I'm not from here originally. I am from another plane, the Starlight Plane, where it seems you are familiar with, and probably are familiar with who I am. I'm coming to terms with. What's going on with this fast-moving gentleman over here? He seems to be under some sort of time spell.
Well, that's what we were trying to figure out, too, because we got here, and we seemingly can't communicate with him, and we were hoping that we could figure out how to stop him from doing that so that we could talk to him. But more or less, that's when our buddy here showed up and started talking about how you guys were besties and you helped him kick the habit and how he wanted to find us, and you somehow were able to give him the ability to find us.
Which seems...
Let's hear more about that.
It does
Give me
seem
deception.
interesting.
Tight. I have to math real quick.
Okay.
That's 36.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of information. I'm going to try to process all of that. What were you saying, Gorbel? I mean, ma'am?
It's interesting. It seems like you've done so much for Lufric. I would almost assume that your relationship wouldn't be so one-sided.
Well, you know, a gentleman doesn't kiss and tell, but there are things that he will be...
I shoot a look to Lufric, like, what?
be required to do for me eventually, once his task is achieved, and it almost seems as though his task is achieved. It's the damnedest thing here.
What was his task?
Oh,
To
so
find
you just
you.
wanted to find us. Do you want an autograph?
No, I have no interest in finding you, really. You... what purpose would you serve? I'm allowing him to complete his task so that he can do something for me.
Cool, and his task was to find us, but you have no interest in us.
No,
But I'm just curious what your task for him would be.
Well, that's definitely something that I will keep under my mask.
Does he
for
even
now.
know?
No, he does not. That's
I
the joy of this.
I felt like he went into this like so open-heartedly, just wearing his heart on his sleeve.
Well, it's interesting you say that
So
because
transparent.
alcohol and loneliness is a terrible mix, and sometimes you offer people things. Can I offer any of you something?
Yeah.
Anything.
How long has it
What's
been?
your
I think
name?
we're good.
We'll say it's been 7 minutes.
Yeah, what's your name?
Oh, I can't offer you that. You can call me the Master. I do like this Rumpelstiltskin name that you came up with, though. Perhaps you can call me that if you like.
I'm leaning more towards Dickbag.
Oh, that is an interesting choice of words.
You did never tell us about the mask. I do want to know where it's from.
Willem, in my head, I'm trying to concentrate on the spell, but also, just so you know, this is an archfey. Don't fuck with him. Don't taunt him. He's very powerful. He's basically a god.
What the fuck is he doing here?
Well, as I mentioned, the mask comes from the Starlight Plane, grows on trees. It's sort of like wood, but things work a little bit differently in the Starlight Plane, if you'll remember, Pinwin. And it's
He goes by P.
no, I know all of your real names.
What?
Oh, that's kind of rude.
When you were talking, but did you tell the
was out
the
of
kind of
character.
tree? Did I just miss it?
That is not interesting for me to discuss right now, Pinwin, if you'll excuse me. Let's see here. Eeny, meeny, miny,
But
mo.
did you carve it yourself, or did your creators do that for you?
Roll persuasion.
$30.
It's actually very interesting. I did carve this one myself. I am quite a hand with crafting, something that I had a one-up on my brothers, but
Miraluk doesn't seem like he would be much at the craft table.
no, he's more of the whole be a sword kind of thing.
In my head to these guys, I'm going to be like, so I feel like I'm playing catch up here still, but when you guys were talking about Ulfheist before, you mentioned that he and his brothers were vampires. Is that right?
Olafeist isn't. This guy is.
I'm trying to concentrate on this.
Master is, right?
Well, is he?
I'm pretty sure because they were saying he's the bitey one because he's vampire-y.
You guys keep him talking. I'm going to try something too.
Oh my god. Willem, you need to be extremely careful.
Do you wear the mask because you feel insecure about your
You're
face?
showing a lot of interest in my mask.
Because who wears a mask? Do you feel insecure about your face?
I do not.
If
Then
you
why would you wear a mask?
if you did
I like
though,
it.
I have to tell you, Pinwin is amazing with braiding, styling.
Aesthetics.
What would happen if I suddenly killed that man over there? And he points to Uthor. What would happen? Why is all of this happening? You said you just stumbled upon it, but if that's the case, the best way to stop that from happening is to stop it from happening. Don't you agree?
Nobody's trying
Let's
to kill
see
anybody.
Why
how
would you
that
come up to a
works.
stranger and kill them? I mean, I think that creates a moral dilemma there.
I'm slowly reaching into my pouch and grabbing.
Give me. Do we have sleight of hand?
Oh, yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, Tomer!
How many minutes are we at?
9 minutes.
Oh, that's a natural 20 plus
And is
17.
Uthor-
That's a
Okay,
37.
yeah, you're very, very sneakily reaching into your pouch.
And is
And
Uthor back to like reality and normal speed?
No, not yet.
Oh,
But I can literally
Hold on.
just
Well, why would
What
you
were
do
you
that?
sneaking doing?
reaching into his pack.
Okay.
to grab the vial,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to whisper, Gladosh.
And the vial opens up.
I don't know what else. I'm going out on a limb
Are you
here.
pulling it out of the pack, or are you leaving it in the pack?
Well, I have it in my hand in the pack,
Okay.
and so
You don't notice anything happening right now.
Okay. All right.
Do you have to
Yeah,
dump it out,
sure.
break it, throw it,
Eat it.
eat it, don't eat it?
So I'm going to kind of just as slowly reach my hand out of the pack with the vial in my hand and just kind of try to like conceal it in my fists.
Yeah, he's not even looking at you right now because he's so interested in these two, and he's getting kind of frustrated. You can tell because he's like pointing at Uthor,
Okay.
and then you say Glodash,
Yeah.
and then he stops. Yes. What did you just say?
Who, me?
Yeah, and he kind of twists his head.
Well, I was thinking about making goulash.
Goulash.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you. It's been 10 minutes.
All right, so under my feet you see like these linking chains, like these gold linking chains spreading out, and they spread out way beyond the room we're in.
Okay.
So for 40,000 foot radius,
Oh my god.
square foot, sorry. It prevents all planar travel. So nobody can go in or out of anything.
So not even us?
Right. Nobody.
40,000 square feet.
Yep.
Damn.
What about Uthor?
24 hours.
Oh wow.
Damn.
So these chains come up.
Damn.
What is happening here? This is. I let you talk me into this. I see. You were stalling. This is unfortunate. This is very unfortunate. Well.
No, we're just gonna have a little bit of time to get to know each other a little bit better.
Now is the time we get information out of him or stop him or do something, because he's definitely involved with all these portals opening up and all
How do
these
we
people
stop an
dying.
archfey?
And I say all that in character.
Translation. Why don't we start by seeing your real face?
Why would I do something like that?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, it feels like you know so much about us and we know so little about you.
We're at kind of a disadvantage.
That is, and he kind of like shakes his head. Yes, perhaps that's a good idea. And he takes his mask off, and even though you're looking right at his face, you cannot even perceive it. It's like you're looking at a moving, like tranquil, like little water. It just slips from your mind immediately, almost like Dreg. However, with Dreg, you guys all still remember Dreg.
Oh,
Interesting.
weird.
This sounds like the painting I saw in the Ethereal Blade.
Oh, interesting point.
What?
Painting.
Do you mind if I put my mask back on? I'm not quite sure why I did that.
Does he look weaker if you take the mask off?
He I guess define what you mean by that.
Like, does he look
Vulnerable.
while his mask is off?
Give me an insight check.
18.
He definitely seems to not enjoy having his mask off. It's hard to discern why, but it definitely seems like something he's interested in, like, putting back on. And he puts the mask back on his face. That's strange. Sorry, didn't mean to impress you with my beautiful visage, but
No, that's quite all right. I'm thankful that you were able and willing to give us a glimpse into that.
he keeps like shaking his head as if he's trying to like get his head straight.
I feel like we're finally getting to know you.
This is an interesting feeling. What did you say again before, Willem?
Goulash.
Goulash.
Yeah.
There's just something is strange here. Anyway, if you don't mind, I'll be taking my leave.
Why are you leaving so soon?
Take a seat. Let's hash this. Let's have a little fun.
And he immediately sits down.
I'm gonna cast Zone of Truth.
Okay.
Make a charisma save.
This is tight.
We are just fucking with an archfey right now. We could make him pee himself at this moment.
That's an 11. So, yeah, I'm gonna assume that he's.
Wow.
Yep. So now he's trapped in the Zone of Truth. He can't tell a deliberate lie.
Okay.
So, however you answer questions, you're gonna have to think your way around that.
Good fucking luck.
So, how does that look when you cast it? By the way, just for audience benefit.
Gonna take my middle fingers, do a double snap, like with my arms crossed, and there's gonna be like a.
Oh no. And you noticed that he did like immediately plop down when you suggested that.
So you know all of our names. I'm Willem. This is Tomar, Pinwin, Gorbel. That's Varolus over there. What's your name again?
Also, like just so you know, with Zone of Truth, an affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be
Why are you telling him that?
evasive in its answers as long as it
evade anyway. So
remains within the boundaries of the truth.
okay.
I figured you would do something similar to that anyway.
You sneaky asshole. Well, as I mentioned, everyone calls me the Master. That is my moniker here.
So what do you call you?
I call myself the Master to some, and
I can't imagine Miraluk calling you the Master.
no, Miraluk does not call me the Master, but I would prefer if that was what he called me.
What does he call you?
Mostly asshole, or I'm going to kill you, you stupid dick.
What name were you given when you were created?
It would be very difficult to pronounce.
We've got time.
I was called a Benelok.
Billy just did like a double fist bump thing.
I don't like the way that this spell feels. I know you're trying to draw answers out of me.
Well, that's good that you know that. So let's move on.
Where have all the portals been opened up in the material plane with the demons and such?
Their purpose is being served by.
Have they been opened up in Moonreach?
One was opened up in Moonreach, yes.
Have they been opened up in Bronzewall?
I don't believe so.
Have they been opened up in Rose Lake?
I don't believe so.
Have they been opened up in Deepminster?
Not yet.
What's your plan with Lufrek?
Thank you.
Well, he has served his purpose. I was going to make him an offer, a very interesting and very enticing offer to become one of my flock.
What does that entail exactly?
Well, it's a complicated thing. It would be very difficult to understand all of the ins
We've
and
got time.
outs. But he would basically be a servant of mine. I hate to use that term, but
What's so enticing about that?
I would give him more powers, though he would not be able to go out in the sunlight, I suppose. But
am I able to
vampire him?
Am I able to infer whether I have to give him verbal instructions to follow, or if I can think them?
I would say that you can infer that they have to be verbal.
Okay.
Have we met?
Us? No, we have not met.
Have we met you while you were in a different form?
No. You haven't met me in a different form, but
Have we met any agents that you've sent?
yes, you've met agents of mine. I mean, I have many agents.
Go ahead and start listing them by name.
Oh, there's you'll recall. It's a Baron. He's a agent of mine, to use your term, and in a place called Old Cairn. He's dead now. I believe you killed him. That's when I first became aware of your existence, and immediately had to flee. So that was a very an unfortunate circumstance. I really enjoyed that city, and it's been a thorn in my side.
And the next agent?
There's one other agent that you may have encountered named Aro. Perhaps you're familiar. He is a pupil of mine.
Was.
And that's another one. You guys seem very interested. I'm interested in leaving, but I'm finding that I cannot.
So, have you encountered or had any sort of dealings with us in another timeline or in another alternate universe?
I have not. I can answer that for you.
So, how did Aro come into contact with you?
Aro came into contact with me by... I find a need. I find those that require help and help them is my purpose here. And he seemed very focused on making sure you all were killed, and I gave him the tools to do that, though it took quite a while.
Are you in league with Calcifer?
Not in league. He is something of a young pup that looks up to me.
So are you guys working together to break the seals?
No, not exactly.
How exactly?
I have given him the information required to open these portals so that he can do what he needs to do, because there are various things that might transpire once that happens that would be to my benefit.
Which include?
Includes opening many doorways to different realms, and perhaps, if I was so inclined, I could climb to them and take them over.
What was the value in Old Cairn?
It's an ancient place. There are certain weapons below Old Cairn, which I believe has been renamed by you all, but it is a source of great power. I thought that is why you all sought it out in the first place.
You overestimated us.
How are there multiple iterations of Calcifer?
It's not the multiple iterations, more of one person taking on the mantle of another, naming themselves Calcifer. He got it in his head, though I do not know the backstory, that he was something of a spiritual successor to the original Calcifer, and perhaps that is what drives him to take up that name. I never quite asked him why, but he's from your village. I believe you know him all very well. His name is Lars. This is information that I thought that you were aware of.
Where is he now?
That I do not know.
Do you have the power to summon him here?
I do not at this moment.
Do you have the power to scry on him?
Not at this moment.
At what moment would you?
When he returns from wherever he is.
Where does he need to return from? Where did he go?
All I know is that he went to another plane.
What plane?
I do not know that.
Why?
Why don't I know that?
Yeah.
I guess I'd
if he's
like
one of
to
your
give...
pawns, shouldn't you be keeping tabs on him?
Pawn is a very difficult word. That's not exactly right. He's something of a... He works for me. I have given him abilities so that he can help himself to what he deems an appropriate measure, and if that helps me in my goals, then that's perfectly okay, though. Never mind.
Where are the lineage stones?
Well, there's quite a few. You might have to narrow that down. Which lineage stones are you looking for?
The lineage stones to Deepminster, Rose Lake, Moonreach, and Bronzewall.
Well, I believe the Moonreach lineage stone is with Calcifer. I believe you fumbled that interaction, Willem, and now it's his. So you have yourself to blame on that.
Asshole.
As far as the others, the Deepminster one is... And he tilts his head to the side. Interesting. The Deepminster one is here, above us in the castle. It's out of its normal place. It's clutched in the claw of one of your friends. And Jennifer, does that sound familiar?
Oh.
Why does she have it?
I do not know the answer to that. That's a very good question. But it seems that...
Where is she? In the castle?
She is in the throne room far above us, and she is being held against her will inside of a spell. She holds 2 stones with her.
What's the other stone?
It's a essence of a Prince Othis.
Why does Olafeist want you dead?
Olafeist wants me dead, much like you want to remove the better parts of your life. Some people are self-destructive like that. Olafeist believes that if he was here in my place, that he would do a much better job, and that either myself or Miraluk should be in the Starlight Plane. Only one of us has to stay behind, so only 2 of us can leave the plane. Otherwise, the plane is destroyed and, bad things.
What kind of bad things?
Well, things that would involve me not existing anymore.
Why are you all so desperate to leave the Starlight Plane?
Well, if you were chained to your house, as much as you might enjoy it, you might not like the position you're in, especially when your siblings get to roam free. We made an agreement that every few thousand years or so we would switch out, and I guess since I definitely didn't hold up my end of the bargain, I'm assuming Miraluk didn't either, so we are at an impasse, if you will.
So if you all are gone, you all perish?
Something like that. If all of us were to leave the plane, we'd all be gone. But
what
that
if,
won't happen.
What if one or all of you were to simply just be killed or die?
Well, that would also be very difficult, considering I am impossible to be killed.
Tomato, tomato.
Why?
Well, because I am tied to the original creators of this plane.
This plane?
Yes, the material plane.
What are the original creators?
I believe you referred to them as the moons that exist. They created us. Well, they created us not intentionally, but they did when they formed the material plane.
Does anything negative happen to the material plane if you and your brothers perish?
See, that I am unsure of, but I believe it might happen that way. I would hope so. What good is this world without us to liven it up? And
I don't have an answer to that question.
he says that, you guys hear a kind of a sound behind you again, and you hear like an axe falling, and Uthor kind of falls to the ground. And he looks up at you guys. Oh, that was very weird seeing all of this in slow motion. He was right. I think it's been 7 days. And then he just collapses. Oh, it seems your friend is unconscious. Looks like his deed is done. So why don't you all carry on? As I just said, I am impossible to kill. So holding me here against my will is largely pointless.
Punch yourself in the face.
He punches himself in the face. Oh, that was just rude. Why would you do something like that?
Why would you try to destroy everything and everyone that we love?
I'm not trying to destroy everything and everyone you love. That is what Calcifer is doing. I would prefer an easier, well, maybe not an easier method. That is probably the easiest method, but I would prefer a less direct approach, because what good is reigning over realms if all the people are gone? I don't think he quite realizes the full spectrum of what he's attempting to do, but children are children.
So you're not trying to bring a demon into this plane?
Personally, there are many options on how to do this. This just happens to be a very direct and easy approach. But I'll take what I can get, because
understand that you're bringing a demon that would end all life on this plane.
I understand it. It is not my preferred method.
Doesn't matter.
If it's a means to an end.
That's what's happening.
What are you planning on doing, like, if you succeed and you're reigning over all of these planes? Like, what then?
You obviously have not felt or tasted power. It is like a drug. It is just, it takes over everything, and it is the most wonderful feeling on any plane.
What can we, in my head, what can we make him do? What we have to be able to do something with him while we can command him to do things.
Well, is anything happening with the boy king right now?
You don't know because he's inside a door.
All right.
But you know that Uthor, fell down unconscious.
Varolus, do you want to go check on Gustav?
Yes, I can do that. And he walks over very carefully, and he opens the door, and he looks inside, and he turns. I do not see any change. There's just a boy lying on an altar in here.
Gustav!
You hear nothing.
Can we locate his spirit?
How would you want to do that?
And would it break your other spell?
Baralik?
Benelok?
Benelok?
Benelok.
Benelok.
Benelok, do you know anything about what the council is doing?
Well, the council seems to be under great influence from one of your old chums, Myra Greencross, who's also coincidentally working with the one you call Calcifer, and I think she's just absolutely infatuated with him, and I think she will do whatever it takes to get his ends accomplished. Though, I should say, that's what Calcifer has told me, but I think it might be the other way around, honestly. There's a lot of drama there. It's almost like a romantic theater performance with it's got its laughs and its lulls, but it's an interesting glimpse into the
I figured that would be a little bit beneath you, considering your position.
You'd be quite wrong. I am extremely interested in these, some might say, pointless interactions, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do, you will die, and what you did here matters not.
Do you have the ability to sense and or locate the essence of a person or the soul of a person?
At this moment, I cannot. But I do have the ability.
Why can't you in this moment?
Well, I am not at my full strength, if you will. This is a vessel. It is, it exists here, but my full strength is not here. It is in the Starlight Plane. And, it's more than enough to do many things, but there are things that I had to leave behind in order to leave the Starlight Plane behind. You understand.
So your physical being was left behind, or?
No. This is my version of my material body. It houses me. A big bulk of my power had to remain behind because it would not fit in a vessel, and it could not transfer over planes.
That has to be torture for you, considering how much you enjoy power.
Well, that is the end result I am hoping for. If I can become the master of all the planes, then all of my power will be accessible to me, and not just on the Starlight Plane. You understand?
What do you...
Imagine you were only able to bring 5 gold with you.
No, I understand that, but wouldn't you, in that case, wouldn't you have to go back and get it?
No, once I am master of all the planes, I can control all of the planes and take my power from wherever. It will not matter.
I'm going to cast Sending and try and reach out to the young king.
Will that cancel the other spell?
No.
Okay.
25 words. King Gustav, this is Tomar. We met.
You don't want to.
What?
Just say, hi, I'm good.
I already said it.
Where are you?
Stop. He doesn't know me. He might not trust me.
He knows
He's
me.
dead.
He met us
His
already.
other option is dead.
Recently. Can you tell us where your spirit is? If not your body. That's 20 words. Or can you... Or explain where you are?
Okay. And what does your little messenger look like?
Oh, it's the hammer with the connecting trails that
Oh, okay.
through the
Gotcha.
Earth like a network.
And so, and a moment later, and you hear in your ear, I am being torn apart. They used me to power the stone. Help me.
He said he's being torn apart there. He's being used to power the stone. Help me. What stone?
Well, the lineage one, right?
He might be trapped with Jennifer right now.
How can they trap a spirit?
What are we doing with this
So,
asshole?
Benelok,
Yes. Yeah, please. Would you please call me the master?
only if you agree to stop all this and leave all the planes alone.
I cannot agree to that.
Well, we're at an impasse then. Can you go ahead and teleport Jennifer and the stones down here to us?
I cannot.
Nothing can be teleported.
You said interplanar. Planar.
Nothing can be teleported in any capacity.
It's the same
within
plane.
40.
What would be the best way of getting to our friend Jennifer?
I would say perhaps traveling up through the palace and during the chaos honestly seems like a very convenient time.
What spell is she being held by?
If I had to guess, I would say some sort of imprisonment spell of some kind. I don't know. I don't quite recognize it. It's quite powerful, though. Whoever cast it would be somebody that I'd at least like to scratch the brain of.
Can we force him to trap himself some way?
Oh yeah, like I'm trying to figure out, like, do I just tell him that he's not gonna harm us in any way and he has to follow us, or like
there has to be some limit to what that blood can do.
Give me perception, Willem.
Wow. 19.
So you look down at the vial, and you see that there is a lot less in the chamber than was originally.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck indeed.
Guys, yeah, I think the commands are limited. Can I tell if it's been, like, with how many orders I've given, or if it's just an over amount of time?
Can you watch it
Depletion.
and give him an order?
I would say that it is... Well, I'll just tell you. It's time.
Okay.
Can you get more blood from him? Can you ask him to give you blood?
Yeah.
Refill that.
Benelux, do you have any sharp objects on you?
I do not, no.
Okay. Would you mind terribly if I just gave you a little cut on the hand and filled this guy back up?
Absolutely not, Willem.
Great.
So you did mention that you left quite a bit of your power back at home. I'm just curious, does that open you up to any weaknesses? Vulnerabilities?
It might. Why don't you draw some of my blood and we can discuss it further?
I don't like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious what those weaknesses would be, because if you're just not at full power, I think you would have some.
Well, I mean, you do have a good point. There are certain things that I could perhaps be better at without my full power.
Well, what kind of things hurt you?
Well, your words have been quite grievous, Gorbel. You're very good at hurting someone's feelings.
I thought you'd be above feelings.
Oh, no.
What if I told you to kill yourself?
Well, I don't think that I could do that.
I mean, you said you're unkillable, but something has to.
Well, I mean, there are certain objects in this world, perhaps, that would be able to...
I'm just curious, what
kill
are
me.
those?
Well, I mean, there's power in those lineage stones that could potentially do that, but you would need several of them, and you would need to have the ability to control them. So that is not a concern of mine.
How can you get
What the
in
fuck
and
do
out
we
of
do with
the
them?
abyss?
In and out of the abyss? Why would you want to go to the abyss? Oh. And he looks around. Oh, I see. One of your number is in the abyss. I can bring him back for you.
As he's doing all of this, I'm emptying my water skin on the floor.
If you would agree to remove these chains, I could bring your friend back right now.
I can't remove these chains.
Well, that is unfortunate. Well, I suppose that if you can't remove the chains, then I can't help you, but know that I could if you removed them.
That wasn't my question, though.
It was an answer, though.
I toss him the water skin. Go ahead, and I don't care if you have to use your own fingernails. Somehow puncture your skin and pour your blood into this water skin, please.
You've got it. And he starts scraping at his gloved hand, just over and over. Okay, perfect. And he takes the water skin underneath, and you watch as this liquid starts to, like, drip in there. How much would you like, Willem?
Does it look like the blood that's in the vial?
It does not.
Fuck.
I'm going to check on Uthor. Is he okay?
He is unconscious.
Is he just unconscious, or what's his physical state?
I'll say with your average medicine check, yeah, he's just unconscious. He's, like, exhausted, completely drained.
How much do you have in there so far?
Oh, I'd say just maybe a quart, perhaps.
Okay.
I'm very bad with amounts,
With
but
measurements?
but here, please. And he pops it closed. Should be enough.
No. You're not done with that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead and just drink it.
Drink my own blood.
Yeah, while we're here.
Ew.
This is a very gross request, but
I mean, it's already gross. You scraped your own skin off to put blood in a water
that's,
skin.
all right. And he pops it open, and he sticks it under the mask. This is delightful, delicious. In fact, and he
Mask
recorks
off.
it. What?
Go ahead, if you don't mind. I think I'd like to hang on to the mask for now.
Sure. And he takes the mask, and he hands it to you.
As I'm holding it,
High or low?
ooh, low.
Low? All right. Nothing happens. Except you notice the last bit of blood disperses from the vial.
Oh, fuck.
I cast Identify on the mask.
Oh, okay. You identify this as the Mask of Anchoring. And the Mask of Anchoring allows one either twice a day to travel anywhere on their current plane or once a day to travel to another plane. It also has the ability to enhance one, basically, in mechanics terms, whoever's wearing it chooses an attribute and it'll go up by 2, unless it is already at a max
While they're wearing it?
while they're wearing it.
Am I able to identify or discern what it is made from and where it came from?
Yes, it came from the Starlight Plane, and it comes from a tree. We'll call it the peppernut tree in the Starlight Plane. And actually, delicious food-bearing tree.
Irrelevant tree. Put that in your notes.
And it is very, very, very old. It seems to be thousands of years old.
No other magical properties?
Not that you can discern with Identify.
I put the mask on.
Okay.
Whoa. What are you doing?
So you place the mask on, and you...
Take 295 damage.
No, and I will allow you, since you're putting it on. Now this, I should specify, is also once per day. You can choose an attribute of yours, and you can raise it by 2. So, like one of your base attributes, like strength.
Okay.
yeah.
That's you were saying that's also the once per day. Okay, gotcha. I thought you were going to give me like another ability. I was like,
no.
you didn't.
But it cannot, if it's already maxed, it can't be higher than max.
When I identified it, could I tell like how much juice it's got for today?
Actually, yeah. It's got 1 charge left for this plane.
Same plane.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to use it to go to another plane because you have to
spell.
have you basically have to have like either one or the other. So if you use one of the 2, then you wouldn't be able to do the other one. Does that make sense?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can choose one or the other.
Okay.
We need to go upstairs then.
Well, I've got this mask now, and here we are.
Okay. Well, this has been a very enlightening conversation, all of you. But well, shoot. I would really prefer it if you didn't wear my mask, but I guess it's on you now.
I'd like to try and stay as civil with you as possible, but that ship has sailed. You are hell-bent on destroying life as we know it, and we're unable to see eye to eye on a lot of things. So at this point, que sera, sera.
Yes. Que sera, sera. And he
Is that Elvish?
he puts his hands next to him. He's still sitting on the ground. He puts his hands next to him on the ground, and he starts tapping his fingers.
How much blood is left in the vial?
It is now gone.
Okay. I put the vial back in my pouch.
You guys hear a rumbling. And
Bodega?
You guys notice. You guys notice that the whole area that you're in is starting to shake.
Now, Benelok, you told me that you weren't able to summon or bring people here to us.
I'm not able to do that.
So what's
right
happening?
now. Well, what's happening right now is I'm going to collapse this place on top of all of us. So if you won't let me leave, then I'll have to do it myself. And the room just starts shaking super intensely and rocks are starting to fall. So, I guess this is goodbye to all of you.
Is this a spell that he's doing?
Yes.
Can I do counterspell?
You can try.
Where was he going to leave to?
Maybe cast it at a high level. Like a really...
Okay. The DC equals 10 plus the spell. What level is the spell?
Whatever you cast it at. So if you
No, hit the spell he's casting.
Oh, you don't know that until you...
But
Okay.
if you cast it at 9th level, it passes automatically.
That is true.
Should I be using my 9th level spell slot?
Do you want him to bring down the power?
Not particularly.
He also might bring down Jennifer, and then
Okay.
that'll be a pickle.
I cast counterspell at 9th level.
It instantly stops rumbling. Oh, that's just not fair. I'm already bound here. Let a man
I'm going to
fight.
hit him with my hammer.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
Okay.
Okay. Like, were you expecting him to just say no?
No, you can't do that, stupid.
He just neos it? No.
29 to hit.
Jesus.
You hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
I want to think something to the group.
Can you make a wisdom save?
Think away, Gorbs.
Oh, damn it. I don't like these dice for
I
rolling.
do.
It does not pass.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Good.
12 regular damage plus 17 fire damage.
Okay. Fire?
Yep.
Okay.
Is this dude kind of a glass cannon?
Don't know. It wasn't smart of me to do that, but
So you crack him with the hammer right in the chest. Oh, and he goes sprawling. Oh, please don't hit me anymore. Do you guys want to roll initiative, or what do you want to do?
Wait, quick.
You're asking
could-
us if we want to roll initiative?
Guys, I could attempt to banish him back to his own plane.
why?
I don't want that.
Okay. I just said I could. That's why I consulted the group.
I mean, that
okay.
would be.
I don't
I mean,
know
he
what
wouldn't
happens
be
when
able
he
to
dies.
travel back.
We
Yeah.
don't know if we can
We
kill
have his
him.
mask.
But banishing him will just make him away. Like, if we can kill him and nothing bad happens, why not kill
But
him?
if we banish him, then he'll be back in his home plane. Olafeist will know, and they'll probably have something to deal with on their own.
I don't know.
That's
we
what
can't,
I was
Olafeist might
thinking.
come then.
we can't assume that
Right.
will happen.
My assumption was we
That'd be
banish
fun,
him
though.
back and then he just comes back when he wants. You're just...
But we have his means of traveling through planes.
That might not be his only means.
Yeah.
It's probably not his only means.
Banishment might not even work with the spell going right now.
Yeah.
Dude's
that's
probably
true.
got 2 cars.
Do you want me to try to disintegrate him?
Yeah.
Maybe if he...
What's the plan here,
I
guys?
can't tell how strong he is. Like,
I
he
feel
might not
like-
disintegrate all the way.
I feel like with what he told us, if we destroy this vessel, it's just essentially like he gets knocked out of the Matrix and then he just has to jack back in.
Varolus kind of pats you on the shoulder, Tomar. Could I take a whack at it?
Abso-fucking
Whack away, man. You fought one of these. Can you tell us anything about them?
Well, I do know that... I'm sorry I was silent for so long, but I was focusing on finding your friends, which we can talk about in a moment, but yes, I think I can. And the the master, laying on the ground, kind of looks up. Oh, just do whatever it is you're planning on doing. But just stop hitting me. It won't matter. I can't die, as I told you before, so this is all pointless.
Feels good, though.
Yeah, it feels real good. And like I said, we don't seem to be coming eye to eye anytime soon, so...
That's because you've knocked me on my ass, so...
No. Don't do that.
And Varolus steps forward, and he just raises his hand again and makes some marks in the air with his fingertip.
Disney Channel logo.
I'm Varolus, and you're watching the Disney Channel.
That's all I could when you were talking about Pinwin getting that paintbrush. You know the video where it shows like what they actually drew.
Yeah. He steps forward and he, boop, and whoop, encased in this sphere is the master. He's just floating in this sphere, and Varolus like lifts him up in the air and lowers him down, and you can't hear anything inside this sphere. He looks like he's like thrashing his arms inside, but you can't hear a voice or anything. And Varolus says, I can keep him like this for a little while, but we can also seal him if you would like.
Yes, please.
How?
Well,
Where? What?
When?
we've got a pouch full of his blood lying right there on the floor, and we could use that as a way of sealing.
And what will that do?
It will seal him for, well, I would say probably at least a month. That would give us time to figure out what to do with him.
Damn, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, let's we'll
Seal
someone
the deal.
hand me,
You
pour
need
a
me to-
little bit of blood in my hand.
Need me to make like a pentagram on the floor with his blood or something?
Well, I don't know what a pentagram is, but something, a symbol, yes.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well,
Here you
actually, maybe I don't want to touch the blood. Do any of you have the ability to touch stuff without blood, or without your hands?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's pour that out on the floor, a little bit of it, and I will. Is it? What can you?
I can cast Mage Hand.
Oh, that's perfect.
You've got a good mage.
All right. Go ahead. And he kind of describes a circle with a few lines through it and some dots on it and some weird script that you recognize, Pinwin, as infernal. And this is something I picked up along the way. So, and you can see that inside the form is like, he keeps moving it and the master keeps like bouncing around and like he can't control himself. And after you trace that with Mage Hand, Varolus kind of sits there for a moment, eyes closed, and the pattern that you drew lights up, and he takes the orb and he sets it on top of the like lit up glyph, and what looks like stone hands reach out, grab it, and pull it into the stone.
Fuck.
And Varolus then like, that took a lot out of me, but I think it's done.
So is it like flat again with just the
Yep,
blood
with the
glyph?
symbol over it. Mm-hmm.
So did he like go to another plane, Varolus?
It's more of like a pocket dimension, if you will.
Okay,
He's trapped in the ceiling plane.
The ceiling plane?
Like with an S or with
Like
a
the
C?
mattress. Sealy plane.
With an S.
Oh, see, I was
okay.
like...
This spell sends whatever to a pocket dimension.
fucking stupid. Jesus
It's
Christ.
adjacent to the spackle dimension.
Not to be confused with the drywall.
So,
About our friends, what were you saying?
well, I can see the path to them very clearly, but they are very heavily guarded. Even your chicken friend, Jennifer, was her name? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's there, and I can sense the presence of what I believe to be King Gustav there.
How much uply do we need to ascend? About.
You mean descend?
Sorry.
We'd have to go up several floors, I think 4. That took quite a bit out of me, I don't know.
Are you injured?
No, just exhausted. I feel like I've spent a lot of my magical energy.
We don't have any more of that mushroom, do we?
Willem?
Yeah.
Roll me a d6. Let's see how much you have left. You have 1 bit of Enorp mushroom left.
Yep.
Yeah. Who wants it?
Varolus.
Yeah, here you go, bud.
All right. I
God damn it. Why is this turtle
And-
face so gross?
and then he. Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Let's go.
All right.
I'm gonna. Can I pick up Uthor or sling him over my shoulder and carry
Yeah,
him?
you probably could.
All right.
Should I put
Is
the
Uthor a
king in
human?
my bag of
Yeah.
holding?
Yeah, should we take that boy body?
Let's put the boy body in the bag.
Put the boy in
Just
the bag.
dragging him.
boy in the
You're
bag.
basically just dragging him.
And I'll walk in and try to put the boy in the bag. as
You're
long
gonna
as
put the
that feels
king in
okay.
the bag of holding.
Well, we can't leave him.
Yeah.
So you just
can't carry him.
slide this corpse
I'll
into.
huck him.
Hold him
I
up.
picture him wearing sneakers and one of the sneakers flies off.
He's like a fucking crash test
So
dummy.
who's moving the king? Is it you, Pinwin?
I
I'll
guess
give him a hand.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
so
him.
Okay, you'll all go in there and do it. You guys notice all over the king's body now that you're close.
Spiders.
Glyphs look like they were written in blood all over him.
Yikes.
Oh.
Yikes indeed, Tomas. That is yikes if I've ever seen them.
Are we able
Jinkies!
Zoinks!
That was my legitimate
So
reaction.
we're turning into a
Yikes.
G podcast.
Yikes.
Are we able to tell if those were bad glyphs?
They're all holding knives.
They're frowny face clips.
You
This has gone to shit.
This is getting stupid.
you guys the glyphs. You can't tell if they're bad glyphs, but they're definitely
etched into his flesh.
they're not etched into it.
okay.
They've been traced on what looks to be blood or
That's
maybe red
what
paint.
my yikes was.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought he was
Yeah.
just like cut up in
Oh, you
glyphs.
thought
Oh,
it was
no.
like Event Horizon
yeah.
shit?
I was like,
saying-
oh
No.
shit.
I was thinking that too.
Everyone, give me a history check.
History.
Aw, suck.
Suck indeed.
15.
17.
Maybe 12, I think.
17.
Let me
No, never mind.
check.
I don't want to say that.
Oh no, 9.
Okay, so Tomar, you guys are like Willem. You're like, wait, what did you get?
It was a natural 1.
Okay, so yeah, you're just like, oh, look at all these fucking weird shapes.
Yikes.
Willem, you're like, I feel
Yikes,
like I've
life.
seen this before. These symbols. And Tomar, you're fairly confident that that's druidic.
Definitely saw this in a James Joyce novel.
This looks like Hirstag's diary.
Also the blood.
Hirstag never found a pen. Yeah. Definitely would have done that.
I just imagine him grabbing a bird out of the air, snapping its neck, and just
Squirting out of the beak.
So you guys are putting the body in the bag of holding?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys
Can I try and give it like a little like on like maybe his is he fully clothed or
Yeah, he's still wearing clothes. It's just on the skin that you can see has the glyphs on.
Okay, so on like his wrist, I'm just gonna kind of lick my thumb and try and like rub
Rub it off, yeah?
Yeah, rub the
Do we
blood off of
want
him.
It does not come off.
Okay.
Okay, all right, yeah, we're just gonna huck him into the fucking bag.
So you huck the
I
prince's
say
or
hug,
the
but I
king's
mean carefully
corpse
place.
into the bag of holding.
Carefully place.
And then I plop it on my back.
That's
All
like the
right.
nicest
Move
thing
on
that's
my
happened to
merry
him
way.
lately. He
Probably.
was just murdered.
And then you've got Uthor over your shoulder.
Yeah.
All right.
Just dragging him along.
Banging his head on stairs.
Basically, it looks like he's riding around on a Roomba.
Toads.
And as you guys exit that chamber, Varolus says, do you want me to make a hole in the ceiling so we can ascend that way?
Oh,
That would be
You
fantastic.
are full of
awesome.
non-diminishing returns, man. I'm glad I cashed that violin.
Yeah, these vials have been fucking awesome.
Well, I think you made the proper choice. I don't know if you had any other options, but I appreciate it.
Nope, you were my first choice.
Well-
First person I ever offered it to.
That's, you know what, that makes me feel wonderful.
About that hole in the ceiling.
Yes.
Yep.
Allow me. And he points his finger up, and then, like, the aperture of an eye just disappears. And then on the ground, just a bunch of stone. And about, the 60 feet up, there's a hole in the ceiling.
Is this going to draw a lot of attention?
Maybe. We should hurry. And he
Let us away.
floats up through the hole.
What the?
Ooh.
I fly up after.
I grab onto your foot.
Well, I was going to say I could probably grab Pinwin, but I don't think I can carry Gorbel.
And Shadow's just sitting on the floor like...
Oh, I forgot about Shadow. Never mind, I don't grab your foot. Oh, what do I do?
Well, give me a sec. I'll just. How wide is the hole?
It's like 20 feet wide.
Damn.
The big hole.
So I could be like a big ass bird.
I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, I see where this is going. I'm going to go ahead and just
Walk on up.
up.
So you walk up the wall and then up the ceiling and then right over into
Yep.
Can I like parkour jump with my fancy shoes?
It's a wide room.
And you also have Shadow.
Yeah.
Oh, and the same problem,
No,
right?
I think that's too high.
Just forgot about Shadow again.
Get on my big bird back.
Okay.
My big bird back.
And I
Shadow?
polymorph.
Me
You
and
polymorph
Shadow?
and you become a giant eagle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, big bird.
So you see Gorbel turn into a giant eagle.
It's just Big Bird from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Can't fly, just really big.
But I'm very leggy.
Okay. Come on, Shadow, let's go.
And you guys climb up onto her back and she flies up through the hole and you guys all land and you guys look inside the room that you're in and it's large but completely devoid of anything except at the end of the room, it's long, is a pedestal and on top of it is a glowing bright blue, very light colored sphere and it pulses. And then shines super bright and you guys feel yourselves being hit by something and that's where we're going to end for the night.
Shit.
Well, that's incredibly vague.
You've been hit by.
Well, maybe I should, right before we end, I should say this pedestal fills you with a sense of accomplishment and strength.
Oh, it's a good pedestal?
No, that means it's bad.
It's a bad pedestal.
You almost feel as though you are probably going to be leveled up.
Ooh, it's a good pedestal.
It's a good pedestal. I don't know, man. Usually, like, promising power and you feel good and shit, that's bad. Like, I don't know. Oh, now we're going to get power hungry and greedy and kill
We
each
literally
other.
leveled up then.
Boy, a lot
Because we
happened
went
in
out.
that.
And then,
Yes.
Boyo!
Congratulations, everyone. You will be receiving... Load.
How many loads? I don't think I can take
just
very
you
many.
Bukkake load?
I already have a boy king in my bag.
You look so like coy when you said that because your arms are over there, and
I
you're,
was,
like,
like, looking
twisting
over.
over.
How many loads?
All of you will be taking 5,500 experience points.
I'm there.
Fucking 20!
I'm
20.
not.
20.
There.
Oh,
20.
Wow. Now I don't even need to argue for experience anymore.
that took me exactly there.
Wow. It's almost like,
I need 900.
what's the
XP.
point?
Anyway,
What do you
see you with
guys?
the podcast.
What do you guys deserve extra experience for?
I don't care.
I
Keep in mind, after 20, I will be instilling the occasional boon. So,
preventing extraplanar travel.
That was dope.
in like miles.
I will give you 1 point towards a boon for that. So you will receive 1 point towards a boon. I will not tell you how many points to a boon, but keep doing badass shit.
How many loads are in a boon?
Don't
How
you
many
wanna
points
know?
are in a load?
All right.
For taking the chance on putting together the stuff that they were talking about in the Feywild about vampires and him possibly being a vampire, and from what I gathered previously on the vial and using the vial against Benelok.
1 point towards boon.
Do I keep track of this or do you?
I'm keeping track of it, but you might also want to. What else do you deserve experience for?
Stalling the master.
Yeah. I felt
Yes,
like we did a
you
good
guys all did a great job of stalling the master.
900 XP.
Pinwin, you can have 100 experience points for that, and Gorbel, you can have 1 boon, and Willem, you can have another boon. 1 point towards a boon.
I was like, I don't understand this.
For cracking him with a
I
hammer,
was just gonna say that.
you can have 1 point towards a boon.
I got quite a bit of info out of Lufric and used my knowledge of his fucked up personality to get him to summon his.
Fucked up personality.
1 more point towards the boon.
Cool.
For stealing Benelok's mask
Another point towards a boon.
and for making Benelok punch himself in the face. Paired with making Benelok tell us Benelok's name.
1 point towards the boon. And now it's time for the MVPC. Yeah. And since this is a first for literally all of us, everyone's at level 20 now. So instead of experience, we are going to award points towards a boon. 5 points total. So when you're voting, guys, so those of you listening, they hold up their fingers to tell me who it is, and I announce it to you so you can hear it. And Willem is 1, Tomar is 2, Pinwin is 3, and Gorbel is 4. Now I'll give you 3, the count of 3, and then hold up the number of fingers indicating the person that you choose. 1, 2, 3. All right, we've got 1 vote for Willem, 1 vote for Pinwin, and 2 votes for Tomar.
That was the pitiest vote ever.
Why did you vote for Willem, Gorbel?
I voted for Willem because that cool, sneaky vial move, that was awesome. And it gave us the ability to get so much information.
That's
was
true.
Super dope, super helpful.
Yep.
And then, there was one other thing you did, didn't you?
Was it the mask?
No?
I mean, that was pretty awesome.
Was there
The
some
mask
other
and the vial.
spellish thing?
He identified the mask and stuff.
Identify the mask. I helped Varolus make the glyph with the mage hand blood spreading.
No, I guess I'm just thinking of the one thing then. It's just the one thing. It was huge.
That's what you said.
Huge.
Tomar, why did you vote for Pinwin?
Yeah.
I just wanted Pinwin to have more boon points.
Oh, that really
Everyone
was a
else kind of
pity vote.
just like, we all were involved with what was going on aside from the game-changing things we already had available. So
I will say, since I'm just letting you be at level 20, you can have 2 points towards boon, Pinwin, since I awarded you experience and then made it useless. So go ahead and take 2 points towards
Okay.
boon. Keep track of it in
Yay.
your notes.
Okay, thanks.
Pinwin, why'd you vote for Tomar?
I voted for Tomar because it was, it was a tie because there was a lot of pretty much what everyone else was doing was really important. Not me though. I just barely remembered Shadow, but yeah, shackling him to one plane was really, really good and important because he could have just went off and away, and then it would have just been, I don't know, it would have been really bad. That and communicating with King Gustav to make so, because now we know exactly where his spirit is. I mean, kinda. I don't know where essence.
We know what's
thing.
happening.
Yeah, that was helpful. So, yeah, those were really awesome and important and helpful.
Okay. Willem, why'd you vote for Tomar?
Because casting that spell to make it so that he can't fuck off was awesome. Hitting with a hammer, which is like what I just kind of wanted to wail on him the entire time too, but I was trying to show restraint just in case we could be diplomatic, but by the time it got to the point where that didn't seem like it was a plausible outcome, and he hit him with the hammer, I was just like, oh yeah.
That's good, yeah. So yeah, that means tonight's MVPC is Tomar Ironfist.
Woo! Thank you.
Take
Cool.
your
Fuck
5
you.
points and put it towards your boon.
Boon point banked, baby.
The
How many
boon
you got
bag.
now?
He has
I have
7.
Nice.
All right, well, that's it for tonight's episode. It was a interesting one. You guys encountered the Master. Shit was wild. I would like to thank you, listeners, for continuing to peep open those ears and absorb all of this beautiful,
I don't think you know how
sonorous.
ears work.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with my
I
understanding.
wouldn't
seen
say
him
I'm
before.
proficient.
What are you, a doctor?
Dr. Earman.
Yeah, ear and face doctor or
All right,
whatever.
easy with the put down.
Ear and face doctor. Thanks to Chad Piper for that awesome intro song. Thanks to Adrian Von Ziegler for that beautiful background music. Once again, thanks to all of you listeners. Check out our social media, our Patreon. Make us some motherfucking warlocks. And we'll see you next week. I am your host and DM, Seth, and this is the D20 Syndicate podcast, where we go on adventures so you don't have to. Bye.
Bye.
Level 20!
A village called Earth Valley. Heart Valley. And my mistake.
Sorry, I got to clear my throat. Who has access to the lineage stone, Uthor?
What?
Uthor, who has access to the lineage stone for Deepminster? Oh, so if he corks it again, will it stop the time? Will
But
the
even
identify
still,
spell
he's gonna
have
probably-
told him that?
No.
The thing that's supposed to tell me everything about.
But if you guys will recall, there are things that are sometimes only partially identifiable for specific reasons, such as the lantern.
The 'cause I said so clause?
No, there is a spell that
I can't stop jacking myself off.
no, I can't remember the name of the spell. I will look it up, but well, there's a spell. Maybe you can look it up. That
You look it up.
I don't want to give you too much information, but that's I see what you did there. There are spells that make it so that it's
Yeah.
basically can't be fully identified.
Yeah.